Welcome to another session of Endless Legend, where I'm continuing with the Allayi. One of my favorite factions, to be honest. Like, I really just enjoy how they move. Like, with the Skyfin unit, which is one of my favorite units. I'm not going to say the Allayi faction I think are broken or maybe even competitive. I have definitely struggled with them a bit, but they're just really enjoyable to play. At least when you're not losing. So let's just continue. And next to the dust eclipse will hit, meaning that we can pick up a lot of extra dust. Meaning I think that we should go for a mercenary market. I'm not sure. Now what mercenary market does is it lets you buy heroes, and the sooner you get it, the cheaper the heroes are. And we have a bunch of boosters already, so I do want to pick up this sewer system at some point, but I don't need to pick it up right now. And it's possible that this open pit mine will even be better for us than the sewer system, because we can just pick up this wine booster and extra dye boosters. And dye is surprisingly good, because influence is surprisingly good. Now here, we're just make sure we pick up all these temple ruins as soon as we can. This is not a temple. No, this is a temple ruin. That's weird. Oh, that means another player has gotten to it first, I think. Yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna dive down here, try and pick up this temple ruins, while we send our seeker there on a little adventure. Speaking of which, this Skyfin is also going on an adventure. We could be using our Skyfin as an extractor, but it's a low level, so we're not going to get that many resources out of it. We will get resources out of it, but I think at the moment we should be valuing the Skyfin more as a scout. Now, I think this is fine. This army you can pick up these. We know we have less than 5 turns to get as many temples as we can. This is basically the temple run episode, if you will. We can pick up this Garth pretty soon. I do want to make sure our influence production across Empire. Is it across Empire? Let's check this quest again. It's good to do faction quests. They're important because faction quests. Where is our faction quest? Oh, here. Faction quests are really important because if you complete them, you can get access to the Wonder Victory, probably the easiest victory type. So we have 9 influence in one of our cities. Okay, we can talk to this minor faction village. Although, I wonder how valuable that is. I mean, getting experience in units. You don't really want that quest. Sometimes there are quests which give you value very easily, without much of a hassle. Oh, we get to search this twice, this is wonderful. We even get a pearl. So we want to pick Public Library and then go straight into Mercenary Market, and with this dust production we should be able to pick up 2 extra heroes as governors, so that's great. We're just going to bounce these around, move this probably in this direction. I don't think we're unhappy with meeting other empires, because we're not close to them. We don't have to worry about them invading us. This is a semi-good map for economic play. A great map for economic play would be where we're completely separated by the ocean. We're not, so yeah, that's not ideal. Although we are next to the Draken, so if we only have one player to worry about, basically. Okay, we're getting another level on our hero. We can go for this bribe cost in trying to get this Oregon Affinity, which would get us extra pearls during the winter, and I kind of want to beeline towards that. This movement upgrade is great, obviously. It's great, but I might not pick it. Does it make the difference to get... Will it make the difference to get there within 2 turns? I don't think so. So I'm just going to send this army here. And I do really want this pearls upgrade, because the more pearls we get per winter, the better things are going for us. And the bribing thing is not as bad as it looks, although we could have used it earlier when we did decide to bribe. Well, I did decide to bribe. I'll not implicate you in that decision. Like, bribing, I think, is underrated. Bribing is important if you can't complete the quest easily. I recommend doing it then. Okay, we can search this twice. We just continue to scout with our Skyfin. We can always bounce the Skyfin around relatively easily. I like scouting on other continents with the Skyfin, precisely because the Skyfin has such high movement even on water. These units don't have high movement on water. Okay. Luxury boost facilities were revealed on fortresses. That means that someone hit... Oh, so these wonders are related to the player with the highest influence. Or highest science, my bad. So here, what is this? Be the first to attack and defeat at least 10 armies of other empires. And we get a talisman with free counter. That's okay. This, the industrial megapole. This is kind of insane, I think. But it costs a lot of industry. And costs a lot of titanium, which you don't have. And ability, 2,000 influence. Okay, that's actually doable for us. Bonus trade routes on... That's insane. If we can get most influence... Although it's unlikely we'll be able to out-influence the AI either. These wonders seems kind of stacked in a way. Although I do like the idea of getting one of these buildings. They seem really cool. The problem with these wonders on endless difficulty... This is, I think, the problem with endless difficulty on these games in general, and it's exacerbated in this game compared to Endless Phase 2, because in this game there are less mechanisms for making sure you can play how you want to play. I'll maybe make a video about this. Like, basically, I just think the endless AI should be smarter and less, less punishing in terms of resources. Because what this teaches you to do on endless difficulty is not to... we met the trading people. That's cool. They can't declare war, and that might be one faction we can actually diplomacy. But basically, the problem of endless is that you're not learning how to play against a good player, or you're learning how to play against someone with an unfair resource advantage, which doesn't actually, I don't think, always make you good at the game. I can bounce down here to check if there's any temporal ruins. Not sure about what to do with the settler. Not settler, scout. Our units are so fast, that's really great. Okay. I'm really happy that I'm close to a roving clans player. Hopefully that means we can form an alliance or something. Not sure what to do with this army. Oh, it looks like... Oh, of course, because of the new settler we just produced. Did I have this last turn? Hope not. I'm just going to bounce down here. Yeah. We can produce enough influence for this quest, but I think it's better if we just do something actually valuable for our units. We can also buy out the scarf, but I also want to get heroes first. So it almost makes me want to put all my workers into science again. Just making sure that I can pick up the public library and then the heroes. I can buy out the Garth, although I don't have enough. I don't have enough pearls yet because the winter hasn't come yet to get more Garths. So I wouldn't have much to produce in this city. I wouldn't be able to produce a Skyfin. I would be able to produce another settler, but we can't really afford 2 cities. And I could produce a military unit with that industry, but again, that's not too impressive. No, I think this is the best. Which is the best location? There's so many good spots, actually. This is probably the best location, actually. You don't make sure we get both of these upgrades, which is 11 industry, good amount of food. Then we can expand like so across the river. Alright. And I guess we might as well peek down here to make sure there's nothing. There's no temple I randomly missed. Okay, the dust eclipse is over. Just sad. If it would have lasted another turn, it would have been really nice. But yeah, these things happen. And speaking of which, we definitely have to bounce. Get this army out of Dodge. Or whatever. Okay, we're building a new city. Now, we need to increase the influence on the city to 3 to make sure we get a new pop to convert these villages. That is the downside of this quest, although it's quite an easy quest in terms of on the scale of quests. It's not bad. Now we can collect this region. Well, the Draken are expanding quickly. This is another issue of endless AI. They just spam cities like no tomorrow, meaning you can easily end up being surrounded or some other garbage. Or I just want to keep exploring this, the extra pearls we get via talk or like picking up ruins is really important for us because we have to wait till winter to get pearls otherwise. So yeah, I do want to get this for Lust for Loot. I think it's over here. Yeah. How long do we still have to complete Lust for Loot? 5 turns. We can do it if we get fortunate. Now, public library is important. Question is, I think it's important enough to buy out the scarf actually. The question is, do we get the public library faster if we stack industry? The answer is yes. The question is, do we want to do other things like get extra science in the meantime? Maybe buying out the golf was incorrect. I should have bought out the library. That's very possible. Speaking of which, we should probably pick up the library a bit faster, like that. I do want this mercenary marketplace as soon as I can. And I should have probably... Yeah. I may just buy out the wolf router. One mistake begets another, right? Now I have a lot less dust to work with. And I probably should have saved a bit more for heroes. But the end effect... Well, it's not the end of the world. Let's bounce over here. And we got some wine, that's excellent. So what we can use the wine for is to boost our approval back into fervent. Or make our approval happy at least, which gives us a bit of extra dust and science. And we're going to bounce up here to complete Lust for Loot to get some titanium. And titanium is really good for us because we get this industrial megapole, for example. Although that would take us forever. So, yeah. We'll probably pick up the Museum of Warrior instead or something. The nice thing about these buildings, now that I'm starting to play with this expansion, is that the Allayi really want to make a lot of... they do like making a lot of buildings in their cities because of the Goths and stuff. But the problem is that Goths cost pearls, and we're choked on pearls at the moment. So, and it's possible to become choked on pearls late in the game as well. And when that happens, that basically means that you're just not getting enough resources to expand your cities properly. Which is, it's unfortunate. We're still keeping this on influence of the quest. Oh, winter has come. Great. Sharing a common frontier is never good. The AI, for some reason, starts looking at your territory and, gets hungry. So one cool thing about the Allayi is that we definitely get the ability to see where pearls are on the world map. And that's obviously great. Okay, we're just going to send this army through here, pick up all the pearls, pick up some pearls here, maybe. They get pissed at you if you steal their pearls, but at the same time, pearls. So, not stealing, they were just lying there, come on, how can you claim what belongs to Mother Auriga? Really. Maybe I don't want to jeopardize my relationship with Dark Blue. Maybe. Let's go down there. Alright. So public library is a good choice. Bang door. Whoa, that was a weird sound. I do kind of want to expand this city a bit. I think... Wait, what is my quest? My quest is currently get influence. Oh, as you can see, during the winter, our dust production basically takes a nosedive. So I may have to assign workers to dust here, just to make sure that it doesn't get out of control. Now we can make another Garth here, but I do have to upgrade this Altar of Auriga at some point. So we might want to make our Garth in that direction. And we might want to go like this. Again, not that great. Having to reassign workers during the winter to dust is not great, but we have few enough workers that the cost shouldn't be that high. I could go for the pearls here, but I think I don't want to antagonize dark blue. Although at the same time, I'm just actually not sure which is best there. I mean, I'm greedy, so I'll probably go for the pearls anyway. As you can see, the units look quite different during winter. Pretty cool. I'm just going to bounce, pick it up. I mean, you know, early bird gets the worm. And by early bird, we kind of mean early Allayi. And we're going to bounce up, pick this up. 3 bonus pearls is great. And we finished Last for Loot, so that's good. We can pick up the pearls of this region, then circle back, collect the pearls at the bottom. Now we can go for Museum of Auriga or Industrial Megapole at some point. Although ideally once the winter ends, when we have more industry to spare. And I do want to pick up this open pit mine. I normally wouldn't because we have the Skyfins, but we can just pick up 3 extractors with augmented extractor, and that's giving us a lot of value. And then we can devote the Skyfin to, say, strategic resources. Normally, I wouldn't go for this, but I specifically have this quest. Wait, where's this quest? This quest. Augmented Extractor is pretty nice. I really like that quest. It really encourages you to use a technology which I think is not always that good. Okay. Just bounce. The Draken really exemplified the sort of diplomacy by other means thing. It's like, yeah, warfare is sort of like diplomacy, close enough. Now we can bounce to the sea and just collect extra pearls there with this army. But it is a bit risky because we risk being cut off from the rest of our armies. So I want to see if I could just move it back through our territory like this instead. Our territory there being kind of loose. This industrial megapole would be super cool. Although it would take us ages to build this thing. Suddenly the Museum of Auriga would be really cool. Although it would take us ages to build that thing. So let's make sure we can pick up some heroes first. We also need to start using our armies to clean up minor faction armies at this point in the game. And speaking of which, I should probably pick up this quest. This seems like a decent settle location. I haven't been super proactive about those quests because I want extra dust at this point in the game. Because I want extra dust partially because my dust economy is in ruins. I could have maybe gone for the other quest. So I haven't been proactive with picking up extra minor civilizations. And the answer is partly that the Allayi don't settle that much, so it hasn't been as big a priority as just bouncing around the map and collecting all the random stuff. Speaking of random stuff, we can even go here and talk to this, I think. Try and complete that random quest. I don't expect to have naval forces to be able to hold these regions in the near future, but exploring the sea can be valuable because if we ever take out Red or make peace with Red or something, then the next thing we have to worry about is the sea and the sea regions. Okay. Yeah. My desire for pearls is greater than my wisdom. That's fair enough. We're just going to bounce this army around here. Make sure we avoid the Draken there. Probably pick... Oh, I prefer this direction, actually, because That means we're less close to this army. Fortunately, we have bonus movement speed in winter, which means we can easily outmaneuver other players. And here we've picked up these 2 villages, which means we have way more production now in the city. We go for extra food, we go for extra science, industry. We can do whatever we want, basically. Well, whatever we want, I mean, we can do a very specific set of things. Picking up this terrain is not the worst because of the extra bonuses you get from this. But that looks pretty unimpressive now because of the winter. This terrain is also not bad. This might even be better. And we have picked up the mercenary market, so we can start thinking about buying heroes. So let's hope they're kind of cheap, and they are cheap enough that I can get 2 heroes despite spending dust. So spending dust was the correct decision, which I totally knew at the time. Totally. Now, food boost and industry boost. This is very impressive. So this hero is immediately appealing. Now, science boost is neat. This is a good spy. The Forgotten Heroes are excellent spies and pretty mediocre governors, or terrible governors. They're also decent army commanders as well. Pretty decent, actually. Like, this perk is also strong for armies, in addition to being an infantry hero. So I like them as army heroes as well, but we don't need that right now. Good army hero. We already have an army hero though, so this dust efficiency is strong, and combined with bonus food. Yeah, this is a good hero, especially since these heroes benefit you a lot in the long run. Now this is a decent hero. Bonus resources on resource deposit, bonus on terrain of dust, bonus dust on river, but comparatively, I think this hero is also comparatively quite good because the bonus trade routes are very important for your dust income. So the Broken Lords heroes, the Roving Clans heroes are reasonably similar, to be honest. I want to pick up Strikes Far first because of the food bonus. In case you know, weirdly, the Necrophage heroes are actually pretty solid governors. Despite being a military faction, they give you lots of bonuses to food, which is very important. Even on the Allayi, they give us bonus unit production, which is very solid because units are important to stay alive. And they have percentage bonuses to food, which scales very well into the end game. They're not the best governors, but they are excellent choices, especially if they have starting perks like these. Food and industry will help us set ourselves up in the early game. And then I think I'm just going to pick up the Roving Clans hero for a bit of extra dust and a little bit of food as well. Yeah. And now, it's just mostly that these other heroes aren't that impressive. Volta's heroes are worse scientists than you might think. Like, this bonus science and district is fine, but then this is a terrible perk that nobody needs. This is not good for science. This is not good at all, because fortifications are terrible. No blockout penalty. This is okay, but these are really good, this is the point. You don't want a hero dedicated to protecting you in the case that you're losing wars, you know. This is actually really strong, but it takes ages to get there. I think I'd rather have, say, this hero who gives you a lot of dust, but also gives you those bonuses, in a way. 50% trade boost on... I mean, this gives you more science on those levels, but this hero is better rounded. Gives you bonus dust, unit production, gives you a lot of more skills, basically, for a governor, which is pretty important if we're picking up a governor reasonably late. Wait, I was talking about picking up this hero, and I'm going to, I promise. Also doubles as a spy, you know, which is not bad. Unfortunately, we had enough dust to pick up 2 heroes here. The question is, where do we want food and industry more, and where do we want dust per population more? Where are we more likely to get extra population? Here. So we're going to get this hero over there. Make our empire a bit less dust-starved. And also having heroes on cities makes them more defensible. Because, yeah, the hero participates in siege fights. Now we can talk to this facility. Mature fortresses to gain strategics. Right. Normally, with the Morgar, I tried to subjugate fortresses, not only because it was more flavorful, but it was, I think, a bit better with the Morgar. But we don't really have fleets, unlike the Morgar. And we don't have a hero dedicated to sea combat, unlike the Morgar. We'd have to buy one, which is not ideal. So I prefer just, picking up important stuff. Now we can go for a museum as our third building, or an industrial megapole as our building, which will let us level up the odds of Auriga. Although we still need to get this stupid thing with the 9 influence for 10 turns. And that would have to cost us some of our dust production. Like, look, we have to spend 2 workers of dust production on that. The reason I go for dust production during the winter again is because the civilization sucks. No, joking. It's mainly because there's such a huge difference between our army upkeep during the winter and the summer. Our armies are still good during the winter, so I'll gladly pay this. Now, because, as you can see, expansion disapproval is really high for us, like minus 25 at this point. That's like 2.5 times as much as other factions get for this first expansion. I'm not saying first expansion is a bad idea, I think it's a good idea. But, yeah. We'd prefer not to expand too much. Once we get open pit mine, we can think about what else to pick up. I think I want sewer system. The bonus happiness is quite important for us. This is better, but I think we want both. Why one? I guess seed storage is also not bad, but we do need to. Seed storage is not bad. It's going to be a bit better than public granary because it's flat bonuses. It's not dependent on workers per city. I'm not actually sure. I think I want to prioritize the bonus happiness, and I can come back for seed storage later. Alright. Our wine ran out as well, so that's why we're going to get this open pit mine. Pick up this wine extractor, pick up extra dye, which is pretty nice. The nice thing about having this Skyfin on the sea is A, it's getting experience, but also picking up more temples, but we can also pick up pearls uniquely to the sea. Already, the Allayi are the best faction for just running around and completing objectives. The question is, do we want to go for this or this fortress? I think the fortress for now. Though I don't have a great rationale for that. Mostly, okay. So this quest requires some sea combat, so we're not well suited for that. Bark units, so units which are basically on boats, are not the best at sea combat. We do need to keep an eye on the armies of nearby players. Typically, when the AI wants to attack you, it will mass its armies on the border, so you do need to keep an eye on the border. This is a very important trick I think I have to do in future. I have to learn to do myself because I often get crushed off the board by the AI. Understandably, because the AI is very powerful and cheats in terms of resources. But also, hopefully it's something I can play around in future. Now here I can move a worker into producing industry instead. Or maybe not. I mean, 13 dust versus... I do want to get this Museum of Auriga because of how... yeah. I do want to get the Museum of Auriga because of how good happiness bonuses will be for us. Important happiness bonuses will be for us. Speaking of which, yeah, I think we should still get the sewer system. We depend so much on happiness to get new expansions because our happiness is so bad that I think it's definitely worth it. Even if it sabotages everything. Yeah. And this bonus to happiness, happy approval, like it's pretty substantial, to be honest. Now we can go over here, but here's another temple ruins, sunken ruins. And as you can see, we've picked up a lot of pearls, so that's pretty good. Pearls are excellent. I don't think we can bribe fortresses. don't think so. Let's party. Give them 50 dust. 50 dust in exchange for influence. Why not? Oh, we wait for 6 turns and we get boarding vessel and control of a fortress. That's not bad. And we control another fortress. That's awesome. Food stockpile percentage is also very impressive. Although the problem with these boarding vessels is that they'll probably immediately capture the fortress back because the fortresses have no way of defending themselves. So yeah, we're getting a little bit of extra resources for like a turn or something. Controlling fortresses is really hard if you don't have fleets. Basically, it's deceptively easy to think. You know, I've picked up all of these random fortresses. That's great. But you're probably not going to be able to capture them for very long. Alright, I'm going to bounce around here. I promise, I don't know, maybe I'll upload Endless Space series at the same time as this. But I just kind of like the Endless Legend bug has sort of bitten me. So maybe I'll prioritize this a bit more. I mean, of course, I love Endless Space too. I'm never giving up on that game. I think it's in some ways it's better than this, but not like I don't. I love both games, and I'll try and play both of them. So. Alright, somebody else has picked this up, understandably. The AI is pretty good at destroying things. Alright, we failed these quests. Doesn't really matter. No, we could have picked up there. Oh, never mind. We'll pick up this, talk to this fortress. We lost our fortresses, I think. We didn't lose this fortress, so we're still getting this luxury boost facility thing. Oh, we haven't gained that fortress in the first place, never mind. So winter's ended, finally. It's possible for us to get this cultivation instead of this. And I almost want to, actually. The food bonuses are pretty important for us. Like, 10 bonus food on these places is pretty huge. Although the happiness bonus is also very important for us. I might as well pop this gold right now. No, I want to move this army down. Okay, so red is basically claiming a ton of territory. Ideally, we could bottle them over here. We'll seal them off from these regions. But again, we don't have to, we shouldn't probably expand that much. It's possible I want to expand in these regions by attacking red, although it might be a little bit ambitious. I would pick these pulls up, but I don't want to antagonize red any further. Never mind, I've already done it. I just can't help myself, like pulls, you know? Pulls are great. Now, actually, we want the wine extractor here. As soon as we can get our hands on that. And the dye extractor, also not bad. There's some argument for picking these up before the Garth. The Garth will help us pick them up, obviously. Alright. Just having the wine extractor turn sooner is quite relevant. I think the wine extractor is something we want more than the other one. I think I can get the dye extractor in the city reasonably quickly. It turns out this museum will only take us like 10 turns to pick up. I'm not prioritizing food production here. Food production is important, but it's also like something we won't get as much out of as other factions. So if we can do something really important with our industry, I'd be more happy to do that in general. And we're going to have to spam the button. Nothing terrible is going to happen to us. What might happen to us that is terrible is it might be that red has very expansionist aims and sort of eyes our territory. And this is what's really characteristic of these two factions on one island maps. Really like our icon looks like funny bunnies. Anyway, the problem with well, all bunnies are funny, I guess. The problem with this kind of map is that, or the characteristic feature, is that we're going to have to just be able to contend with our neighbor. That took me a while. Like, if our neighbor is aggressive, which the AI very often is, we're just going to have to make sure we can deal with that aggression. I think once we pick up cultivation, I'm going to go for some happiness upgrades, but I also want to keep extra stuff in mind, like picking up monks and titanium and glass steel weapons sooner rather than later is a priority, because we could use them for aggression, but also we need units to be able to stay alive. Like, we could pick up this. I forgot how easy it was to pick up this bastion. Teeth and nails. Where's teeth and nails? We're supposed to capture. Alright, this fight is a lot better for us than it looks, because we have support from the city. Speaking of which, this Museum of Auriga is coming along quite nicely. I think we should be able to pick this up, and once we pick it up, we'll get a level 2 building there. Though we do want to complete this quest eventually. By the way, the next step in this quest is to build up our, is to get our Altar of Auriga to the next level, and one way of doing that is to get the Museum of Auriga here. And getting Museum of Auriga to high levels is huge because it improves happiness per level. That's a thing, so that's pretty great. And also, this tile doesn't offer that much. I don't know. I guess I can get another Garth here, and I'll complete our city. And also think about getting an Industrial Megapole at some point. We can get the Industrial Megapole over here, maybe. That is a lot. That is a lot of time required. I don't have much practice playing these Megapole thingies. Industrial Megapole is a lot of industry, but also takes a lot of industry, so... Okay, we want to make sure that our hero can kite these. Basically, the idea is hit them and run. Now, this unit is reasonably... I don't want to say weak, but it is weak. Now, these units can move towards us very slowly. They're not the greatest. So we want to move our militia. We'll just move these units into position, make sure our hero gets an attack off. During summer, our hero has the special ability of healing allies when it attacks, and during winter has the ability of dealing extra damage to adjacent allies. So, generally quite a powerful hero. I'm just going to run and attack like this, run and attack like this, have our hero attack. And this army can bounce around. I don't want to injure my armies or my hero. I rather want to injure the militia, because militia are disposable. Sorry, guys. Guys and girls. Maybe even Allayi children, for I don't know. They're kind of small. Oh, I forgot. I accidentally lined up my units here. Not the biggest deal. If the governor takes a few hits, it's not the end of the world. But I forgot about these silics, that you don't want to stack units together. The question is, do we want the militia to take another hit, or can we take a hit on the Seeker? I think maybe we could take a hit on the Seeker. And just apply a debuff here. Yeah, as you can see, the silics hit hard, and the Seeker doesn't. So we're going to bounce it back immediately. Wait, what's happening? Ugh. So it looks like my game managed to freeze at this point. Join me next time. Why did the game have to freeze now? Anyway, join me next time as I continue this playthrough on this difficulty.